Hello, friends. How are you doing today? Welcome back to a new episode of Kevirsyle Network. I am your host, Kevin Davis, and today's guest is my brother, Mr. Dash Hopper. Welcome to the show, brother. Hooper, Jesus Christ! I keep
That's
calling
fine.
you Hopper because sometimes you remind me of Hopper from Stranger Things. I'm so used to I call you Hopper bastard.
It's all
So,
good.
like
Just
Hooper,
don't,
Jesus Christ.
just don't call me late
But,
for dinner, all right? Just don't call me late for. No, it's
so
good. It's all good.
brother, we finally made it. We finally made it to my show, months in the making. Uh, How you doing, brother? I know you've
I
been
am.
doing a lot of stuff. The Substack to your books to your movie reviews to everything you're doing,
I,
brother.
I do. I do. I dabble in a little bit of everything. Yeah, I've been. One of my first loves, obviously, is movies. And movies and TV shows. So I like to do my reviews on that, and then yeah, I've been writing Substacks. That's part of the dash of reading, if you will, lifestyle that I take part in. So um, it's all good, and I enjoy doing it. So, but thank you for having me on the show. We've been on Ed's show so many times, and you've been on mine a few times. Now we finally get to settle down on yours and get to talk what we like to talk about.
Right. I'm like, yep, I was on your show for the first time a couple days ago. Like I
Yeah,
just saw you, bro.
yeah. It's
What
just
you, yeah,
like yeah, we
what
were
you doing
Saturday,
good?
Sunday, yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, I think yes, this past Sunday. Yeah, that was fun. So I'm just going to deep dive into it, man. Like I said, with this title, I say talk about movies and entertainment, just in general. And with us together, we tend to go on a tangent and talk about random stuff anyway. So this is perfect.
Oh yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
So, what's like your recent movie that you've seen that you actually liked before you go
Well,
to the what you dislike?
let's explain what like is. I like
One that you can tolerate more
I like a
that you
lot of
like.
movies. I thought that the War Machine was fine. That's the new one with
Alan with
yeah, Adam, yeah,
Richardson, which
yeah, Alan Richardson, and
yeah.
on Netflix. It was fine. It was hokey. I like hokey. There was some things as a military guy that bugged me a little bit, but overall, it was a good Netflix movie and good popcorn movie. That was pretty good. Lately though, I've been more into the TV shows. Like we
Really?
talk, yeah, I've been. I mean, I watch movies, but I really and we talked about it the other day. I'm really into the Taylor Sheridan universe.
Yep.
He
Yep.
just dropped that new one, the Madison. That one's really good. It's on Paramount
I have
Plus.
to watch that one. Yeah, I have to see that.
Yeah, that one's good. I just got
I
done
don't know. I
watch.
didn't know it just came out.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
wife
actually out.
the wife and I sat down on. I think the first three dropped this past weekend, so we watched all three of them. I think on Monday, I think it was. We watched all of those and just enjoyed the. So it was good. Just did the Game of Thrones spinoff with the A Night of Seven Kingdoms, which if you guys have followed me any at all, you know I'm a George R. R. Martin fan, even though I cuss him out every Sunday to tell him to get back on the ball. But very good, very true to the book. I would say about 99% true to the book. There were some things that they took some liberties on, which is pretty good. I didn't have any problems with the liberties they took.
Right. What's up, pops?
Um, some of them were the way that Dunk looked. Dunk has long hair, which we'll probably get in this or the second season. But overall, it was really good. I enjoyed it. It was not like your typical Game of Thrones where there was a lot of gratuitous blood and things like that. This was really good in you focused on the storytelling and the camaraderie that Dunk and Egg have. So I enjoyed that. That's what I've been watching lately.
Yeah, I've been hearing so much about that show. I just haven't had the time to watch it yet, but I will get to it eventually.
I'm retired. Hey, let's just throw something up. I'm retired. and I could do a lot of things that I couldn't do many years ago. So that's what a lot of people. You bring that up because I do the reviews, and a lot of people be like, "How do you find?" Listen, finding time is easy. There's this button that says, uh, "Do you want to schedule this post for a certain time?" And I do.
It works wonders. It
Yeah,
works
I can
wonders.
schedule posts, so I'm not necessarily always on, but I love what I do. And again, I'm retired, but I build my schedule, and the military probably did a lot for me where I regimented what my days are. I have my schedule, and I homeschool my kids. Um, I write, I cook, I clean. I got to do it all because my wife works. So God bless her. But as a retired military and retired from working in a bookstore, it's now it's all about Dash and what I can do for my family. But so I find my time. I block everything out. So it's not like I'm sitting there just sitting on the couch with some chips and watching TV all day. I regiment things out. I have a block, and this is probably a little too crazy. I block out my reading time. I block out my writing time. So I have a set schedule to where I do things, and I make times for movies, and I make times for TV shows. But like we were on spring break this weekend or this week, so the wife and I got to actually enjoy some free time of catching up on shows that we missed and things like that.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, I try to like do my schedule like that, but sometimes it doesn't work.
Uh,
Especially not when I'm in the zone on a story. I kind of go over the time I put,
yeah,
but
just
that's how my brain just goes. It's such when I'm in the zone, that's when I get going, get it out of my brain, so it be
oh
on
yeah.
paper, and so I
I've
don't forget it.
I've been there. I think that was Tuesday, literally Tuesday for me was I had something in my head, and so my wife and the girls went off, and I just spent the whole day doing that. So that's good. You can have some controlled chaos. It's okay to
Oh,
have
oh,
controlled
so-
chaos.
most definitely. And like for me, but I still make time for family. Like my sister and I, we we basically found events that we never knew that was here in our city, and so like we go like crafts fairs,
Yeah,
and even like a circus comes here every couple months, and like we went to a horror circus called Paranormal Circuit. That was for my birthday last year.
I think I saw you post pictures on that one.
I
So yeah,
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 dude,
yeah.
like, and that inspired me to write my us a paranormal circus story. And so I was like, everywhere we go, I'm always inspired.
Yeah,
And like she
absolutely.
sent me, and we went to like for lunch. We went to like a turkey based restaurant where everything's turkey. Like they have macaroni cheese with turkey,
All right, I'm listening.
giant turkey leg, uh, turkey stuff that I never knew that you could put turkey with.
Turkey goes with everything, my friend. Turkey goes with everything.
Two other
Hey,
baddest
Chris.
men. Oh, right, what's up, Chris? And and we just walked around our city, going to like support our local independent stores that we never knew that was here. That's legit
Yeah.
by my sister's school that she works at. And I was like, whoa, why the hell did I not know what this is? I was like, oh, probably because I'm an introvert. I've been in the house for so freaking long. That's probably how I don't know.
You
And
got it. Yeah, you got to. That was the. If anything, that's my wife is an introvert, so I'm totally extroverted, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't figured that out and whatnot, I'm extroverted. My wife's an introvert, but it's funny that some of the things that I'm so extroverted on, she'll take me to like places I'm like, wait, I don't want to go there, but so we've learned to like like you're going to all these like I never would have gone to like certain stores that she goes to, and I found a lot of good stuff for me, whether it be collection wise or creative wise, or so yeah, I'm right there with you. I have expanded my horizons since being retired. So um but yeah, I love, yeah, I listen, I'm not going to say I won't.
Mhm.
go to a paranormal circus where there's scary ass clowns. I'm not saying I won't, but it might take some convincing. But no, I get it.
Well, I will say the Paranormal Circuit. It did they have somebody dressed up as Terrifier, Freddy
Right.
Krueger, and Jason.
See, that's cool. I'm okay with horror. I
Yeah,
can watch. I can go to horror
it's
related
not
things.
it's not full blown clowns. So.
If I can stay away from the clowns for good,
Yeah.
no, that would be so fun. I think that would be so fun. I like theme things like that. So a pair, we have we live here in Old Town Guthrie in Oklahoma. It used to be the capital, now it's not, but it's Old Town. So we have Renaissance fairs. We can literally walk down the street to. So we go to Renaissance fairs. We go to uh, some of the cool. Uh, we have uh like Victorian walk during our Christmas. So everybody's dressed in Victorian clothing, and we're walking around, and you're it's just like uh, Charles Dickens and A Christmas Carol. You got people dressed up. It's so cool. And 10 years ago, 12 years ago, I don't think I would ever have done something like that. And so I that's what I love about my wife. She takes me to these things, and now I love dressing up Victorian and doing the stroll down wearing my top hat and carrying my cane and my big old overcoat and saying "bah humbug" and the screw. But yeah, that's cool. That stuff is cool. And while I always consider myself a geek and a nerd,
Mhm.
I missed out on so much. A because not because I was trying to. The military took me away from a lot of things, but I missed out on so much because I felt that I couldn't, or uh, I was like, nah, I don't know if I'll have a good time. But man, she straightened me out quick.
My sister is a big Victorian fan too.
Yeah.
At her school they do like these different types of dress out weeks, or I forget what it's called. But I remember one time she got like a Victorian wig and a dress, and she pops out randomly at times, showing off and showing off every single time. She does not hold back whatsoever.
Good.
But she's known at her school that she's about to show off. So when they
Good.
have like a dress up week, everyone expects
Yeah.
that she's about to show the hell off. And everybody be like, so where do you get that from? It's like Amazon. Amazon's
Yeah.
best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazon's best. Amazon is your best friend at times. Good. I love that. I love that your sister could do that. That's fun.
Oh yeah, and she's the reason why I got into Victorian stuff too.
Yeah.
And like from movies to like random TV shows like Bridgerton. For some reason, I started watching it. And I
Oh,
still
Bridget.
watch it now. But I also watched because my sister got me interested in like the era,
Hmm.
especially with the fashion. I'm like, how do they breathe in that stuff? It's like Jesus Christ! Oh God!
Yeah.
I know it got to be hot, and they make oof. So I was like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thankful I'm thankful for the time frame we live in because, yeah, I don't, man, I don't know if I could. I watch I watch Bridgerton. I'm not gonna lie, my wife watches Bridgerton, so we watch that. We watch all the uh, we have BritBox is uh our favorite channel. So we watch a lot of old British comedies and old British television shows because it's just they do it well. And but yeah, we watch Bridgerton. I am a huge fan of Downton Abbey. It's that's not Victorian, but I'm a huge fan of Downton Abbey. But yeah, you just all of that came. I mean, I did like British stuff. I liked Monty Python and things like that before, and
Ooh,
because
yeah,
the
yeah,
military took me over to England and things like that, uh, you get an appreciation for British television and British movies and things like that. But um, yeah, it's you have to. You don't even have to. I mean, like, say you're a big fan of it, but you can enjoy it. I mean, I think you can enjoy Bridgerton, or you can enjoy uh, Downton Abbey or things like that without having to be like a big fan of it. Like Bridgerton makes
great,
sense. So
great. Yeah, because I wasn't a big fan of it because one, it just wasn't my thing for a while. But
right.
grew an interest in it. I saw my sister dressing up as it, and like then learning like different fashion things, and so especially I'm in the fashion industry because I create my own apparel.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting to get the inspiration, like learn how fashion was in that era, like how it evolved over time
Yeah.
and everything. And like, cause I'm a big horror fantasy fan. Like, and like I grew up like on Lord of the Rings and the Hobbits and like even like random vampire movies like Underworld or Blade
Oh yeah.
and the Thing, Halloween, so many franchises that basically inspired my imagination, which is how I gotta write crazy stories, as I've been told by my artists that work with me. um, and I've been told like by my artists, like friends, it's like, dude, your mind's scary. I don't want to be in your universe because your
Your
universe.
mind, your mind's not scary. Your mind is creative. You know that if somebody, I mean, it could be scary, but that's good. That's a good thing, man. That don't,
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good thing to have. I mean, I mean, we have you if you don't have a creative brain, you don't have the Mary Shelley, you don't have the Bram Stoker, you don't have the creators of Friday the 13th. You know, I mean, whether they're uh
horrible.
horrible or not, you still don't. You don't. No, I love. Listen, I love all the Friday the 13th. It's it's just they're cheesy and they're
I
fun, and
I
they're
only like the first two.
well, the first one scared the crap out my brother. This
Oh,
one was
I like the 2009 one too.
uh, but the original Friday the 13th, the very original
Yeah.
1970s.
Oh,
My brother and I are watching it. I'm watching it for the first time, and
the
I'm probably 7, 8, 9 years old.
the
Or it was the 80s, I should say. 7 or 8, 9 years old, and that scared. I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. I kid you not. My mom was mad at my brother
oh no.
because I could not sleep for 2 weeks after. But I got.
Like
It's probably because of that.
that was
Because
a good movie though.
yeah, it's probably because of that why I've leaned into horror now. I got over my fear
Mhm.
and uh and embraced it because I love horror movies. I'm writing horror books. I mean, both of my fiction books have horror uh elements in it. Um but yeah, it just takes those things, and again, it's probably a deep-seated thing that's like, my psyche went, oh, your brother scared the living crap out of you 40 years ago. Here, let's write this book now. And so I probably should thank my brother somewhere down the line one of these days in my books for probably setting me on my path. But yeah.
I remember when I was a kid when the first Insidious movie came out. My mother and my sister had put like oil around the house
Yeah.
on the TV because we were very big spiritual family. So we're like, we don't want this in our spirits. We're gonna watch this movie and stuff. I remember I could not go to bed after watching that movie.
Oh yeah.
We turned all the lights on. Like, it took me a while to fall asleep because I was terrified after watching that movie. I was like 11 years old, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Turning the lights keep the bad things away. They keep the things
Yeah,
they keep the things under your bed and the things in your closet from coming out. I guarantee it works. I mean,
yeah.
God, I did that. Speaking of, I did that not I say not too long ago. The original Paranormal Activity came out, the very first Paranormal Activity movie, and I went to the theaters with some friends to see that. And then I came home, and I kid you not, and I'm probably, 20s, 30s easily. Yeah, I slept with the lights on that night. I think I had the kitchen light on, the hall. I didn't have the
Got
bedroom
the
light on.
kitchen light on.
I had the
Oh my
kitchen and the
god.
bedroom light on, so it just like it like lined down because it was pretty. It was, I mean, listen,
Oh
it's
my
it's
god.
not like it's uh I look back and laugh now, but it was a little spooky when I was, I'm just like, I'm at home all alone. Maybe I'm going to turn some lights on just in case.
Uh,
So yeah, it was.
man, and then I remember watching like The Haunting Connecticut. That
Yeah.
terrified me when I first watched it. Sinister when I
Oh,
first watched.
Sinister. Yeah, Sinister's a good one, but
Uh,
spooky.
that was an was it? Ah, shoot, that's somebody that was a kid. Even the first like when I watched Jigsaw for the first time,
Yeah.
that one terrified me. When I was because I was a kid, so I don't know what the hell was happening. But as I kept getting older, I started getting more actually fascinated
Oh
about
yeah.
movies and everything. Hey, what's up, Evan?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and then my imagination is kind of started imaginating.
I,
and
yeah, yeah.
and
I
I
like.
said,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. What you
Oh,
say?
good. Go ahead. Finish up.
I was gonna say, and like I in high school, or like my senior year, I forget what year, I watched the entire franchise of Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
the entire franchise of Friday the 13th, and I had more fun watching Freddy. I had more fun watching Freddy than I had watching Jason because I feel like Freddy actually made more sense coming back to life than Jason did at
And Jason.
times.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and
Most
then
definitely.
that's kind of I think that's when I started like thinking about I was thinking about storytelling. That's when I started like learning about storytelling. And I'm like that makes I'm like how I'm like this I'm like, Jason just came back underwater. He came back from a lightning bolt and just randomly started killing people on the boat. He started with killing people who having sex on the
Yeah.
boat. They have no type of connection to the game. And I'm like, and how the hell is this dude walking underwater to Manhattan? I'm like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
It's like, and then Jason
That's
X comes. I'm like, you tell me this dude has ate Jason's brain and became Jason? Like, are
that's
you what? What? Like what? And that's kind of like I'm starting to become like a critic in a way. And I was like, what the crap is going on here? And I was like, I wasted I don't know how many hours watching this franchise, but because of my curiosity, I kept going. That's full on me because I get too curious, and when I get too
uh,
curious, I want to know what happens next.
you got to take those with you got to take those with a grain of salt. But
Yeah.
again, I like hokey, I like cheesy, so I'm okay with
Hey, I'm
again, it's
good
not
with
gonna.
hokey and cheesy, but it has to be funny for me to like it. Really.
Uh,
And I just feel like this isn't really a good cheesy hokey to me.
well,
like
no,
like
that's
the good cheesy hokey to me is like the Evil Dead, like Evil Dead and
yeah,
Ash.
yeah.
That was hilarious and awesome.
That's the great thing. That's a great thing about movies, entertainment, and things like that. But I think a lot of people have forgotten though, but because entertainment, movies, TV, it's all subjective. You may, I'm going to sit there and watch Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. I'm going to because it's funny to me. But that's cool if you don't, if that's what I love about being able to watch movies because I guarantee you, some of the movies I love, people are going to be like, they're going to come up and feel my head first off to see if I feel okay. And second, it's just, but take it with a grain of salt and move on, man. But yeah, I get it. I thought I thought Jason Takes Manhattan was a a good bad movie. Does that make sense? It was a good,
Yeah.
really bad movie. And it's
But I must admit, some of the kills are funny. I'm not gonna lie, some of the
yeah, no,
kills are kind of funny. Okay.
it's a guilty
Okay.
pleasure movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but yeah, one of the ones I like that's most recently is I like the Conjuring world. So you got the
Yeah.
Conjuring, you got the
Yeah.
Nun, Annabelle. I love probably
Love that
because
movie.
it is based a little bit off of the true stories of them
Yeah.
and their
And
ghost
Warren.
hunting. Yeah, the Warrens and their ghost hunting. I kind of like that. Um, and while they probably took a
First two are
lot of
still the
liberty.
best ones in the franchise.
Yeah, while they took a lot of liberties, I'm sure. The based in reality, I love that because yeah, we can get like you said, we can get Freddy, we can get Jason, we can get Michael Myers, and those are just from the minds of some really crazy individuals, But they gave us some of the best stories. I think especially 80s and 70s and 80s horror was some of the best horror for me growing. Again, I'm a 70s and 80s kid. That's when I was growing up. Um, and I think but I really enjoy some of the uh the most recent horrors. I think they've gone back to the roots. Like we just talked about it the other day, Sinners.
At least someone trying to.
Yeah, Sinners, great horror flick. I'm glad that we have an actual Oscar winner from a horror movie. That's
Horror,
fantastic.
yeah.
We
And
actually,
not just hey, we have a few of them from
yeah,
horror.
right.
So
So
horror took over the Oscars. That was awesome.
yeah, so you got Coogler who wins best screenplay. Michael B. Jordan wins
Best
best
actor.
actor. So that tells me at least in a little bit that we can actually open up our minds and look that some of these genres that we've overlooked in the past actually can tell a good story.
Oh,
And so, congratulations to Sinners. It was my second favorite movie of 2025. I still love F1, but that's just because I'm a
that's
racing.
with Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah, I'm a racing fanatic, so I was probably going to be a little bit biased as far as the
That's fair.
as far
That's fair.
as far as it being
It's
my
like
favorite movie. But
yeah,
Sinners was definitely worth it. But that's what we need that back in storytelling. I think the it's okay to tell a story that doesn't have anything other than vampires and monsters running around. That's why I love The Thing was never going to win Academy Awards, but it was one of the scariest
it was
movies.
one of the most
The
original
Thing and
movies ever.
Exorcist to this day are still my top two scariest movies of all time. So we need to get back to that. I think uh, Ryan did a
And
great job. We need to
they
get
just
back to
started.
that kind of storytelling. So
Yeah. And they just started filming the new Exorcist movie. Mike Flanagan's doing.
yeah, nothing will. I'll watch it. I'll watch any. I'm gonna watch any movie you probably throw in front of me. But
Same.
nothing to me will still be as scary as the original Exorcist. Um,
Yeah,
and
I've been
I implore anybody that's out there watching to go read all the not just don't watch the read all the articles and read the stories about filming The Exorcist. That's where the magic and the scariness comes from. Trust me. Um,
I read those and hearing back what happened to the actors after they wrapped that movie and everything.
even yeah, and not just after wrapping during
Yeah,
filming.
during
So
the film too.
yeah,
That
so
is that's why I was like, you have to be careful doing this type of stuff because it can get deep in your
my
soul.
it's my wife. No, my wife. That is one she refuses to watch with me. So I have to watch The Exorcist all by myself every year and get scared over and over again. It still scares me. It's still not to the point like obviously it does,
I'll
but
come to town. I'll bring some snacks.
there you go.
We
We'll do
we
it.
have a bromance and watch it.
We'll have a screening of The Exorcist with our popcorn and enjoy. Absolutely, come do it.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely
Um,
come to town. Just let me know when you're watching it. I'll have to come to
every Halloween. Every
town. All right, bet then.
All
I'll
right,
bring the snacks and some drinks and some hot dogs and some something.
we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll enjoy it, and she can go trick or treating with the kids, and we'll watch The Exorcist. There you go. Um,
We have a bromance. We having a dash at camp, bro. Bromance, watching The Exorcist, and getting and scaring
yeah,
ourselves.
and scaring ourselves. Yeah, for real. Um,
So,
yeah.
I was like, I might get out blankets and stuff, lay on the floor and like, what the fuck is happening? Even though we haven't seen it multiple times. Whoa, yeah.
Let me turn it around on you real quick. Let me
Uh,
ask you this: scariest movie you've ever seen?
Scariest movie I've seen?
Mhm.
Ah, my God. Shoot, that's a good question.
Yeah,
Um, Besides The Exorcist, um, I'm not gonna lie, The Ring actually.
The Ring is pretty scary. I will give you that.
Yeah, The Ring scared me. So
Japanese
like,
do a great
They
job scaring the
they
crap out of
I
us.
think that they also inspired me with my horror stories because I want to get like their level of horror, and I love how they do it. But between the scariest movies I've seen between The Exorcist, The Ring, I think there's a movie called Possession. I think it's called.
Yeah.
So that's like my three. And when I was a kid, also Insidious. At
Oh
the first,
yeah.
yeah, the first Insidious movie.
The kid that creeps behind. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, those are the four that actually really scared me. Oh, and if I my top five, I had Sinister when I was a kid watching those.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, I think that's like my top five that actually scared the living crap out of me, and I couldn't sleep for a little while.
Yeah.
Um, and I can also add more to the list.
Yeah. Listen, I can. I know what you're saying. I could go.
I mean, I can add some because a lot of these movies I saw as a kid, so my brain wasn't really,
Oh
uh,
yeah. Wholeheartedly. Yeah.
uh, yeah, so I wasn't really used to that. Adding more, I was like, Haunted in Connecticut scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Jigsaw scared the crap out of me. Oh, even Chucky scared the crap out of me for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a love hate relationship with talking and mechanical dolls. Teddy Ruxpin scares the shit out of me sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. That thing started. Oh, God, the girls got one of those. My their aunt, my sister in law, gave him something, and I was here alone. I think I was doing something in the kitchen, and I
Oh,
heard the doll. I heard the doll just go.
oh,
Needless to say, that doll got put in the garage the very same day. But I have a love hate relationship with
yep, I'm burning that thing instantly.
animatronic dolls.
Separation and burning
That's
this thing.
crazy. But I question toy makers. Why? Why do you do that? Why? Now we know why there's scary movies made about them because that's scary as shit.
Oh,
So
that. Oh my god. And I want to flip the script from horror and get like more other type of movies,
okay.
especially in this modern era. Like I said, even like Marvel, DC. Um, First, I know you love Superman. You wrote the book about it. I want to dive into that. Like, what made you want to write that book about Superman? What do you want to explain why you love
Oh
Superman?
well,
And
the
also,
book.
why do you love Superman too? So,
So the book is this is a. I'm gonna do a shameless plug here. My book, why I love Superman and other superheroes, is one veteran's journey to find himself through superhero motivation. I love one of the things I love about old comics and stuff like that is there were so many great quotes that superheroes had when you had writers Steve Ditko and you had uh, Stan Lee and all of them creating original Batman with Bob Kane and Joel Schuster and Jerry Siegel and them and with Superman. They gave you such great quotes to live by. That was one of the things. But my love for Superman came when I was very young. My dad went on a business trip. And he came back, and this thing was like probably life size Superman. So you're looking at a 6 foot tall cutout of Superman, and I put it on my wall. So I've always had Superman has always been my favorite superhero, and but I grew up in a time where kids liked there was at least I don't recall this. There was no division between Marvel and DC. You loved all of them. You were sitting there playing Spider-Man and Superman at the same time with your little action figures, and there was no such thing. Yes, there was such thing as the Marvel universe and the DC universe in
yeah.
comics, but as far as creating and playing and things like that, um, I grew up in a time where you could like Superman and Batman and Spider Man and Captain America at the same time, and you'd mix and match their clothes on your body and go out and run around. Nowadays, I try not to get involved in the the silly debates about which universe is better, because you can like all of them and that's okay. Um,
Hmm.
but why I wrote this book is I just retired from the military. I hadn't gone into anything else. I just retired from the military. Well, I take that back. I'd been retired from the military for about 10 years when I first wrote this one,
Okay, okay, gotcha.
and I was besides working at a bookstore as a personal trainer, and I needed something, at least for me, for me to get not only myself in gear, but something to uh, get my clients to focus on what we were doing for the day. So we may have. So I'll pull out like um, here is one from. You can't really see it, but I'm going to read it to you. Once you choose hope, anything is possible. That came from Christopher Reeve himself. That was a Christopher Reeve quote who played Superman. And once you choose hope, anything is possible. So one of those things that I would put on my board for the day when we were working out was you know, a lot of people are scared to come in and work out, and they're trying to find a way to get their health and themselves back, and you have to choose hope. You want to hope that your body gets better, because if you sit around and you're just sitting on the couch and you're not doing anything, that doesn't help your body. And I'm not saying you have to go in there and bench press 500 pounds and be a superhero. It can be just as simple as walking around the gym, getting on a treadmill, you know, doing some body workouts. You don't have to be superhero strong to achieve that. So that was some of the things, and so it was. I remembered all that stuff. So I was walking. I was doing my personal. I was walking around the neighborhood, and I literally just started sitting there thinking. I loved all those quotes, and so I was like, I want to put that together for, because I'm still dealing with my own anxiety from being in, you know, PTSD in the military, and dealing with my anxiety, and these were things that kind of grounded me. So I found a bunch of different quotes uh, when I would go to do my workouts, or even when I was at work in the bookstore, I would find things that would help me get through the day. Whether, and you know, these are things I might have just said to myself, and so that's how it came about. But Superman was, you know, when I was growing up, Superman was all about hope. You know, he was the, you know, truth, justice, in the American way, and you know, who as a kid doesn't want to live up to truth, justice, in the American way? You know, and or Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Who doesn't want to live up to that? Or who doesn't want to be Captain America and represent what the red, white, and blue stands for? So that was my things on why I wrote that book, and why Superman still to this day, you know, was really Christopher Reeve. You know, the Superman the movie was really one of the first movies I recall seeing as a child growing up. So you know, that was at that time, that was the only superhero movie really on in the movie theaters. We had some made for TV ones that came later in the 80s, but it wasn't from 70, what was it, 78, 79 when Superman came out, to 1989 when you got Batman. You know, you had some Marvel made for TV Marvel movies. You had, I think you had a made for TV Punisher, a made for TV Captain America. You had a Spider-Man live action TV series for a couple of years. Other than that, you just got everything through cartoons. You know, you had the Super Friends, you had Spidey and his amazing friends, you had, uh, you know, the Adventures of Batman, and so it wasn't until really the 90s, 89, 90, that we got Batman, and then we got the Adventures of Bat, you know, the on Fox, where we got the greatest, probably the greatest Batman we've ever had, in the animated Batman, and so that was what I grew up with. And then, you know, finally now we get to the 90s, or the late 90s, and we get our first taste of Blade. You know, to this day, I don't care what anybody says. Blade started the MCU, not Iron Man, not the X-Men. Blade was the very, when we got the R-rated Blade in, I want to say it was like 97. Well, I can't remember. I don't remember dates. I'm not good with. I remember movies, not dates, but it was that late 90s when we got Wesley Snipes' Blade. Yes, Batman the animated series is the greatest Batman ever. Absolutely, and yes, Blade,
Thank you.
absolutely, yes, it did. Um, so you know, it brought the kid out of me again to get to live all. I didn't have to wait as long. I went into the military right around the end, or I went into the military in 1991 after I graduated, and um, so to see to now to actually see on the big screen um, Marvel heroes and DC heroes again, not just cartoons, but actually see them on the screen was fantastic, and that was a time when we didn't. It was you weren't getting a superhero movie every year or four superhero movies a year. You were getting one. That I think Blade, and then we had to wait till '99 to get the X the original X. I think it was '99 when we got, or 2000 when we got the original X-Men and Spider-Man. And
2002.
yeah, then you got all that, and then you finally started getting some Marvel was taking over, and I know we get the whole debate of Marvel runs the movies, DC runs the cartoons. I personally, I don't care. I like them all, and I'm
I'm
going to
like,
have, if I want to have a
yeah, I don't
if I
care.
want to have a movie marathon where I watch X-Men and then turn around and watch Man of Steel, I'll do it because
Yeah,
you're not paying my bills, and you're not going to tell me what I'm going to watch and what I'm not going to watch.
yes.
So
And plus, I grew up on the animation and
yeah,
TV shows. I didn't know.
I grew up
I
on
didn't, I
all.
didn't know about the comics. I
Yeah,
didn't know
I
about
grew up on all the animation. The X, or I
yeah,
did. X-Men came out when I was in the military already, but that was the early '90s. So you had one of the greatest uh, between Spider-Man the animated series and X-Men the animated series. Um, those were fantastic in my opinion. I thought the stories were well done. That's my wife. Lorena's favorite is the X-Men animated series.
heck yeah.
So she's a huge X Men Rogue Jean Grey fan. She can literally uh, tell everybody about how Rogue got her powers, and so I love that. Great job for my wife. Congratulations on being able to school me on something that I didn't know at one point. Um, but yeah, I love, me personally. I love superhero movies. I wish they would bring them back down to the one or two a month or a year instead of so you can get burnout. But that's what intrigues me, and that's why again I wrote this book. When was what's my 2021 is when I wrote uh 7 November 2021 when I wrote my book. So we'd already had tons, but I was getting, it. Iron Man. Iron Man had some great quotes. Captain America, definitely. I'm talking comic
Oh,
book wise,
yeah.
Captain America had some really great quotes. Even the movie, I can do this all day. That's still to me,
Man, that's still one of my favorite lines
still
ever.
one of my favorite lines. But I also have real life, what I call real life superheroes. So I have Florence Nightingale, Stuart Scott. Stuart Scott was my favorite sports commentator on ESPN. Mr. Rogers. We all have different gifts, so we all have different ways of telling the world who we are. That's what we do now as creators, as as people who are in the creative world. We tell people who we are by the way we write, by the way we draw, by the way we act, and I think that is a huge testament to the real life superheroes that we had in the world. And to me, you cannot deny that Mr. Rogers was a superhero, or even Bob Ross. Bob Ross was in the Air Force. People didn't know that. They just thought he was a painter, but I got to meet Bob Ross before he died, and talk with him, and So those are the real life superheroes that I love that I got to actually use in my life. And I think sometimes that we forget what they're saying because we're too focused on what they're doing. You know what I mean? We're too focused on well, they're fighting, but listen to what Captain America means by what he can do all day. We can do that. You can get up and something might have knocked you down, but you can get up and you can do it all day. They might knock you down. It's kind of like that post I posted. It doesn't matter if you have the money or not. Get up and keep doing it all day. That's
Yeah,
that's that's a
post you,
dash thing.
the post you had posted about you asked a question if someone wants to get in the industry or if they have lack of funds, should they
Yeah,
do it? And I looked at your post. I was like, yeah, if they have the determination and passion to want to do it, they will find a way to get the funds to do it. That's like
yeah.
you can't like I feel like you say you have lack of funds. That's just using it as an excuse to not what you should not do what you love. Like,
I think that's like my friend Dusty said. That's just people. Misery loves company, so they're going to drag you
yeah,
down, and they say those things like, "Well, you
yeah,
shouldn't. You shouldn't do
yeah,
this. You shouldn't do that." No,
exactly.
do what you love, and that's. But that's where uh, why I love Superman. I know that was a long, drawn out answer, but um,
It's fine.
as far as Superman goes, to me, he was like I said. My dad brought me home that picture. Christopher Reeve to me is still always will be Superman. While I love all the other ones that have played him, um, Christopher Reeve will always be Superman to me. Even though there was many actors who played him before. You had actors that were doing serials and television shows before Christopher Reeve put on the cape. But to see him put on the cape and then to have his accident and still be able to try to fight and find a way to cure paralysis and things like that. That to me was what, and that embodies Superman to me. That's why Christopher Reeve always will embody Superman to
I didn't learn about Christopher Reeves until later in my life.
me. Yeah. Well,
uh,
you're probably the Tom Welling Smallville
yeah, I
or
am.
or
I am.
Henry Cavill, Henry Cavill Superman. That's nothing wrong with that. I love Tom
Yeah,
Welling. Tom Welling did a great job as Clark Kent. That to me, while I have Christopher Reeve as Superman, I have Tom Welling as Clark Kent. That's to me, you can appreciate every actor that has
yeah.
portrayed Superman and or Clark Kent in a way, and I think you can celebrate them even if you're not fans of them, but you can
Exactly.
celebrate them.
And like with the new Superman with David Cornsweet that came out last year.
Yeah,
Like
I
I've never seen a superhero movie divide so many fans at once.
that's
Like
that's the
so,
the problem. The problem with that is we that's just the vocal minority of the internet.
yeah,
If and I mean this uh and I mean this with all due respect. There are more people off of social media. There are more people that are not on social media than there are on social media. I can I can
I,
I can pretty much safely assume that we tend to listen to people who would rather be uh, it's engagement farming is all it is, and I'll leave it at that. There were things wrong. There were things wrong with the Corn Sweat movie, but there were things that were good with the Corn Sweat movie with Superman. I enjoyed it overall. I thought it was a good movie, um, and that's probably people will say I'm biased because I'm a Superman fan. No, I there were things I liked about it. There were things I did. I kind of wish that he didn't bring in all the superheroes right away. I wish this would have just been a Superman movie, but that's okay because we still got some cool characters to add to the DC universe. Um, and Guy Gardner flipping somebody off. I'd probably get in trouble for that. That's still pretty cool. Who doesn't like a sarcastic Guy Gardner? Um,
that
I
dude's such
liked it. I thought the new Superman movie was fine. There's uh, things, but there's things in movies that I have 5-star movies that have things that irk me in them. You know what I mean? There's things that I can't say I would do differently because obviously I'm not the creator, but there's things that I wish were done differently,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
doesn't. But then I've seen bad movies that never irked me. I'm just like, this is just a bad movie. No, I'm kidding. It, I've only ever walked out of one movie, and that was Natural Born Killers. So if that tells you anything as far as my movie
I don't
rankings
think
go,
I ever saw that.
but yeah, you're right. I thought Superman was fine, and I'm gonna leave it at that. It was good. It was a good movie.
Yeah,
It
I'd
was
say,
ranked number 3 in 2025 for me.
yeah, I was like, Superman 2025 was my first movie I've seen on IMAX. Because when it came out, I was traveling. I was in Indiana to see my best friend for the first time, and I was like, I'm gonna go see this movie. It's just I'm here, and I'm like, they have an IMAX theater. I'm gonna go check it out. Like, why not? Because I don't have an IMAX, or at least at the theater I go here in my city. We don't have an IMAX. It's like let me experience something on IMAX I've never done before. I'm like, let me do IMAX. And so, as a running photographer, I love the camera angles and when he did like certain things, like with the fighting, and like especially the flying sequences. Or when like I mean, one of the scenes that was my favorite. The camera was when he was flying, when he was with being blazed with by fire by those minion people, whatever I forgot
Mhm.
what they were called now. But how he, I don't know how James does it, but how he flipped the camera while something that is flying, and you still see his mannerism while he's I'm like, dude, that is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so I look at movies and TV shows differently because I'm learning videography and cinematography now.
Mhm.
Thanks to that, I want to be a director. I want to be able
There you
to
go.
learn how to do that. And so I was like, was it a 10 out of 10 for me? No, it wasn't. But the way it made me feel, I felt hopeful. Like I
Mhm.
think that was the point of the movie. It was to feel hope, and I feel like that it was a really pretty good adaptation of Superman. I'm like,
Mhm.
granted, I'm still like an outsider because I never read the comics of him, but I understand his character now by reading like the information about him, what Superman represents
Yeah.
and everything. And I was like, I've seen so much divide. The Man of Steel was more accurate than this. I was like, I don't care. I like them both.
Yeah, I
Don't care how you feel.
I like all again. And somebody's gonna say, well, you can't. Well, yes, I can. I can do whatever I want because you're not paying my bills. But
And I'll control my life.
I like Man of Steel for certain things. I like um I like Superman.
And heck, I
For
like Tyler Heckler and Superman and Lois for certain things too.
uh, there you go. I'm not a fan of. I shouldn't say I I'm not a. I shouldn't say I'm not a fan. There were things that bugged me a little bit about the Tyler Hoechlin series. It was good, but there were again there's little things that bug me with almost every super. I'm a Superman fanatic, and I'm
Military
probably
parts.
probably things that didn't bug the normal person.
Was it the military parts of the show that bugged you?
Well, it's yeah. Well, every military part bugs me. In the no, I kid. But you know,
I have
there
to
were
mess
things
with you. I have
I
to
love.
mess.
I love. I liked Henry. I'm probably in the minority that loves Batman versus Superman. I thought it was a great movie. I can overlook the whole Martha thing. Please,
That's the only part
that's
I hate about it.
if
It was
that's the
that.
only part you guys are getting mad at, you probably weren't paying attention to the movie. It was irksome,
But I
but
still enjoy it.
yeah, it was irksome, but it's not a deal killer. That's just people looking for something
She could,
uh, to complain about. But there's still things in the original Superman that bother me to this day. But I still love the movie. It's still one of my favorite movies. But like you were talking about, that's what I look when I'm watching a movie. I'm looking for the cinematography. Are they doing a good job making me feel like I'm in the movie because of the angles or the camera work or the is the writing immersive enough that I'm going to be involved in this. If you're going to give me something Superman wouldn't say, then you're probably going to drop me out of the world. So that's what I look for. I look for the cinematography. I look for the writing. Um, I look for immersiveness. I look for character development. If you give me a movie that's just you got a three-dimensional movie, and what I mean by three-dimensional, you got a live action movie, but your characters are two-dimensional in there, you're going to lose me. So I thought that I thought the Superman 2025 did a great job keeping me immersed. Um, I'm a bigger fan of
After
this
you shoot by
Lois.
Supergirl.
Yeah, I'm a bigger fan of this Lois than I have
Same
been
here.
in any Lois in a while, except for
Same.
Erica Durant's from Smallville. She will be the epitome of
Oh
Lois
my
Lane
god.
to me.
Heck yeah.
Um,
Erica and Rachel are the best Lois Lanes.
but I really enjoyed this Lois Lane.
Yeah.
But but that's just me. And you can like it, hate it. That's okay. You're not going to offend me if you say you hated it. It is what it is. Um, but I don't. The one thing I don't, and I will say this with a passion, but that's just the internet. I don't like fighting over who's better than who. I just don't. I like Justice League fine enough. Some of I like the Snyder cut. There were some things again I would have done different. I'm not a huge slow mo fan. I'm not big on the slow mo stuff, but I thought the Snyder cut was fine. I thought Justice League was fine. I have waited. How many years did I wait? Almost 40 something years to finally see a Justice League. We saw the Avengers. I was happy with the Avengers. I saw Justice League. I was happy with Justice League. Are there things wrong with it? Absolutely.
Oh, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Most definitely there's things wrong with it, but I can enjoy it and say it was worth the watch, and I'm glad I got to watch it. And that's where I'll leave it at that.
Heck yeah. Now, since you, speaking of Avengers, this Doomsday and the Secret War stuff.
I I am worried. I am worried about Doomsday for one reason and one reason only. I don't know if bringing RDJ back as Doctor Doom was the right thing. It could be, and it could be great. This is just a Dash thing. I don't speak for anybody else probably, but RDJ coming back worries me some a little bit because I want this movie to sell on its own without having RDJ back in there. We sent him off for a reason. We sent him off as Iron Man for a reason. And bringing back RDJ scares me a little bit. It may do wonderful. It may be the
He's not the MCU Doom since he's in the Fantastic Four
yeah.
universe. It's a bit worrisome.
Yeah, it's worrisome.
and, then, and then with the teaser or whatever they showed that Steve Rogers is back too.
I,
It is
Rogers is back for probably. This is my opinion. Again, I don't have any inside information. Rogers is back probably for about 10, 15 minutes tops.
probably
Tops.
it's
It's
possible.
it's probably going to uh, answer something that might have been unanswered, or we don't because there's no context on why we see Rogers. Thor will have obviously we know Thor will have a big impact and things
They
like that.
brought back the Ragnarok Thor. Probably they brought back a little more serious Thor because
Yeah,
Love and Thunder pissed me off. If I'm
yeah,
being
well,
honest.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But I think a lot we tend to as human beings we tend to hyperbolize a lot of things and say, "Oh, this is going to be the worst," or "This is going," and you're basing it off a 30-second clip because we don't know anything about the movie, and they did that on purpose. They showed
and
some clips
it
of
actually kind of
Rogers.
makes me excited that we don't know much about
Yeah,
it.
I don't
It
want to.
also makes me
I I,
worried.
I don't mind. I don't mind trailers. I appreciate the new Spider-Man one that came out. I have some questions about it, like the automatic way that the mask comes on, especially from a homemade suit, because we know he no longer has any Iron Man technology. So I do question some of the
Like, did
things.
he sew that suit?
Yeah, he sold it. How is it automatically? I think it was some CGI
But
stuff
then
on
again,
the.
but then again, it's 4 years later, so he probably figured out something how
He
to
may have.
So
I'm excited
that's why
about the new Spider-Man. I have some questions about it.
I'm
And
just
if you're,
confused. Who is that invisible thing bouncing between the people? I don't know what they do,
I don't
but
know.
it has me
I'm
intrigued.
hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping we
Like
get some.
interesting.
I'm hoping we get some stuff on it. But just just because just because I question things doesn't mean I hate it. I want people to understand that. If
Yeah, because
you're not,
you question because you're curious. I said, wait,
yeah,
what is going on right now?
you
And
know,
when I saw you make that post, I was like, "Dash got a point. How does he? How does he do that?" And
uh,
then I was like, and then now he has organic rails.
he's
His top,
that is written
transform.
into that is written into the comics. There was one where
Yeah, I
he
saw
got the
someone say it's Man Spider now. I'm like, what the hell is Man Spider?
Man Spider was for a
And I looked it
while.
up. So he's a mutated. He
Yeah,
mutates into an actual spider. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, if they actually do that in live action, that would be intriguing. Actually,
So
but
I'm curious to see where that goes with the thing.
yeah,
So just I want people to know that just because somebody questions something doesn't mean you hate it. I question the Oklahoma Sooners every time they come on the field. Doesn't mean I hate them.
oh my god.
Though I can't, but yeah, there's some good stuff coming movie
I
wise.
mean, coming out in July. I'm
Yeah,
excited for that. And then Daredevil Born Again season 2 comes out in a couple days on the 24th
I
on
think
Disney
it
Plus.
comes. Yeah, it is the 20. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
And then the Punisher special is coming. I don't know when that they haven't announced that one yet, but I know he's coming after Spider Man. I don't know if it's coming before Doomsday or after
That's before Doomsday.
that.
I think everything, anything TV wise, is before Doomsday. I believe. Uh, but yeah, man, just enjoy movies.
Right, and that's one movie I recently saw was Scream 7. I actually saw it. Uh,
You tell, yeah, you told
uh,
me about that one.
one I told Chris too. I was like, they did the exact route I expected they was gonna do when they announced the casting, like with the former Ghostface and stuff. And somebody was like, they're probably gonna do this and that. And when I watched it, I was like, God damn it, they did right. So I was like, I was hoping it wouldn't be like that, but at the same time, I expected it because that's the only thing that really makes sense for this particular subgenre of
Yeah,
horror.
Scream is predictable, but it's going to be
Yeah,
predictable. So it's
and I was like, I like the dynamic of Sydney and her daughter. I think it started out strong, but it's one of those movies that you start out strong, you be intrigued, but then you go through it, it kind of just dwindles down, and then you get to the reveal, and everything just gets thrown off.
yeah,
I was like, wait, how are they? I'm like, how are these people Ghostface? And I was like, what in the world? And but I'm just like, okay, that the motive was weird. The entire reveal was just very off for me. But I did say, but they left it open. They could do one more movie if they're very creative with it. They can bring the whole franchise full circle and end it with one
yeah,
more movie.
and
Because they still left the story open to see if Stu is still alive.
yeah,
Like they could do something really that can really pop off to end this entire franchise with one movie to bring that's like a full circle. I was like, I could freaking write that movie and make it pop off. I'm like,
yeah,
cause this is a great opportunity, but I'm just if y'all do one more movie, you're probably gonna f it up because that's what Hollywood does. But there's a very creative way you can pop off this franchise and end it on a very hot note to
yeah.
bring it full circle and everything. I was like, but I was like, was it the worst? No, I still think Scream 4 was the worst one. Was it the best? No. but I think but it was still decent enough that I still enjoyed it. Uh, I, but I give it more of a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave it. I watched it and I gave it a 6.
Yeah, so I'm like I love Nev Campbell. It was
Oh
cool to see her back. I'm like she's been my crush since forever now, and I was like it was a 6 out of 10 for me, and the reveal was a 4 for me,
yeah,
or 3.5.
yeah,
But that, but yeah, and but oh shit, we come up on time. Well, we actually over time, um, but dude, first of all, thank you, not Hopper, but Hooper.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you for coming
You're
on,
welcome.
man. It's
Absolutely.
great.
I love talking.
We have to do it part 2 and part 3 of this because I can talk to you forever about movies and everything. We need to make this a series. Now think about it. We need to make this a series.
I'm good. Just tell me when and where, and I'm here.
Oh yeah, especially when new movies coming out, we're gonna make this a freaking series. But before we hop off, tell us where we can find you and follow you. Keep you up with
You,
your progress.
Facebook. I pretend to be a comedian on there. I pretend to be an author and creator sometimes, but no, you can find me on Facebook. Please follow on. I'm on Instagram, all under Dash Hooper. You can find me on the Madness Entertainment Group every Wednesday and Sunday. As far as shows go, we're doing we're doing our book show this Sunday. So click on the Madness, come see us over there. We're talking My Bloody Valentine next Wednesday on our First Impressions uh, albums. First Impression, My Bloody Valentine, their self-titled album. So if you want to listen to that and come join us on Wednesday night, that'd be great. And then you can find me just being silly, like I said, on Facebook and having a good time. And Substack. You can go to Dash's Substack, find me there. I try to pretend to be a serious kind of reporter over there. I don't know how that's working, but we'll see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. My books, I have Hybrids, Hell Comes to Texas, and as we talked about, Why I Love Superman and Other Superheroes. All of those are on Amazon. You just search my name, Dash Hooper Books, then they'll pop up. Go check them out. If you like horror and supernatural, that's what my fiction is about. And if you like superheroes and motivation, that's what my nonfiction is about. So check it out.
Heck yeah. You can find me at Facebook at I am Kevin Davis CEO, Instagram I am Kevin Davis Official, and you check out my website at kevirsyle.com where you can see everything I do, so I don't have to blabber about it all the time. Just see it for yourself. And also here at the Madness at Kevirsyle Network because we're all mad sometimes, or
Yes,
all the time. Depends on the day. It comes with the job as creative. But thank you, Dash Hooper.
It's all good. I said, you can call me anything, just don't call me late for dinner. Other than that, we're good.
But we'll catch you guys next Friday with my next guest. And stay mad, people. Not actually mad, but you know what I mean. I hope. But catch you later.
Yeah.
If you missed the live viewing of any Madness Entertainment Group production, you can find all our content on Roku or as a member of this channel. We'll see you next time on the Madness Entertainment Group.